All right, we're currently streaming. This is where we record it for your review. And it's good that it is a state board prep review. I hope you had the opportunity to go over the study guide. Let's proceed now to kind of break it down. Okay, let's see, can I get it to one page? Hold on one moment. I hope y'all have had a good weekend. Layout, design, one page at a time. There we go. All right, so we are recording. There you go. I do want to zoom in. Let's go to 125 zoom. There we go. All right. Okay, so what we need to do, now we're looking at study styles. We're at a point, I'm gonna send hours out today. Okay, I'm gonna send hours out today. Um, Everyone is approaching a finish line when it comes to theory, if you have not already finished. And so full speed ahead is getting you over to the state board prep. All right. Getting you over to the state board prep is going to be a necessary push. It's going to feel like I'm really pushing you because I am. Okay. Because I need to get you over into the practical component as soon as possible. So, what happens once you finish your 750 hours here, you need to be studying for your exam. I have given those that have finished the opportunity to jump back in at any time for review, either while you continue making your tuition payments or even if you're finished, you have the opportunity for review. As we embark on the month of April, okay, that is probably going to be, we're going to finalize this time schedule. So it'll be everybody who needs to move forward, who needs to prepare for tests. We're going to keep this schedule. It will probably be modified based on the active students that are here. So if my active students say, I got a new schedule at work, what about changing the schedule to such and such? Put something on the table. When there's only two people, we can really maneuver how we need to maneuver. We're not operating with 10, 15 people. And I'm not really doing a heavy enrollment until I change into the micro school structure. Okay. And when we go into the micro school structure, there will be intentionally less students. All right. Less students. And so it'll be a more created function. And it will not be, pretty much open to everybody. So get what you can while you can. So even when you are out and you got your 750, if the window is open for you to ever jump back on, please do. Even if you don't, please know you do have resources. Your SEMA is 24/7. So making sure that you share your SEMA, that you go into your SEMA almost daily when you are prepping for your state board. I've had a student recently say she listened to the YouTubes in the car repeatedly, and when she took her exam, she could hear me talking. She passed her exams. And so that's another resource. That's another reason why I stream the virtual classes, just simply because you have another way of learning. If you go into our group on Facebook, a private school group, it has a files page. There are study guides over there. All right. So, and then always check into your emails. There's study guides. But if you go into SEMA, there's study guides, there's quizzes, there's exams, there's videos, all of that access at your fingertips. Okay. So let's move. We do not have. I don't want you to move like you have a lot of time. Okay. Because life just progressively goes on and business does as well. So as I begin to shift business structures, okay, into micro school, and so that means I'm going more into coaching and to teaching teachers, I need you to get what you can get while you can get it. So what that means for us right now, let's complete our 750 and let's move swiftly into doing what we got to do for prepping and taking that exam. Okay. I am going to be with you the entire way. When I say the entire way, the entire way. Okay. I recently had an opportunity to maybe become a coordinator of a salon in a women's shelter. And I thought it would have been a great opportunity. But with my mom having an issue this last couple of days, it just kind of brought me to, I'm not able to do that right now. But I thought it would have been a great opportunity for my students. But also, when I look at it, it was a lot of liability as well. Because you don't know people, working in a shelter. You don't really know a whole lot of people, but it would have been a great humanitarian aspect. And maybe we'll get to do that. I come in on our practical, maybe, we'll get to do that later when you're in your salon or spas. But right now, I don't think it'll be a good time. But it would have been, great, super, super great. I think it's a place that we can partner with, just going forward to help. And if they, help to come out and do one day of service or something of that nature. But that's what we're going to definitely work on in the future, is more community building. That's what we have there. But everybody's goal is to get to the finish line, get the theory exam, get the examine. Okay. Let's talk about your fears. Let's get that on the wraps. And let's move on so you can go into your salon settings. Okay. And start getting your practical hours. If you are finished with the program, if you've already hit 750, your first part, do not continue to clock in. Okay. You cannot clock another hour until you move over to the practical component. So you have to pass that theory state board prep before you clock another hour. Do not clock in. Okay. Do not clock in. Let's look at this state board prep. It was for facials, makeup, and hair removal. You may say, Ms. Cox, why would you give us a state board prep? Because you guys are going to be graded on it. Okay. You guys are going to be graded on it. And I have my coffee over here. Um, and particularly your state board preps are going to cover those items that you are graded on. Put a 1 in the chat also before we get started. What does your summers do? Anyone do summer vacations? Yes, it's just a yes or no. Anyone does summer vacations? Good morning, Paquetta. Paquetta, I got you packed up today. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you. Okay, Teresa Paquetta. Hey, Pooja. Getting ready for that exam?
Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey,
Yes.
Tara, can we have your autograph?
Oh my God.
Tara, you're not shy, are you?
I am very shy.
Really? You're gonna be a big star. I,
That's what my mom always says. I act shy, but when I hit the stage, it's a different story.
I know. I said, hold on. I know that girl. Let me
Yeah.
get down on it. Okay. Well, I don't want to hear the singer. I'm rooting for my student. So when I say I literally want you to sign my shirt, yes. I'm gonna have to find me a
Thank
brand
you.
new DCI shirt. And I want you to sign my shirt. Cause baby, this gonna be a lot of money one day. I'm gonna hold on to that shirt. And you know how when the people go do the interviews about that was my student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have my shirt.
Yeah.
But we're proud of you. And I'm
Thank you.
so excited. I tell everybody in the house, that's my student. So just super excited. But first goal, first thing first, Tara, is to get you over to this state board. You gotta have your license. Then you gonna do whatever you need to do, but you gotta have these licenses. So that's our goal, okay? And I'll speak with you more about that. But Quetta, I want to say one thing. I am so proud of you because you came back in kicking. And if you ever heard the scripture said, not much longer now, the song too that says, not much longer now. Because you came back with 3 and you just clocking it. So congratulations to you. I'll be sending your update as well today, okay?
Okay, don't do that, Miss D, because you know I cry easily.
Not much long. And I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer. But I just felt that I need to give you that not much longer now.
Thank you.
And actually, the scripture is Amos 9 and 14. And I ain't trying to have no Bible study, but I just feel like you need to find it. And I don't know what kind of Bible you get, but it's Amos 9 and 14. And you can look on your phone. The Message Bible says it best. And yes, you do hear the ripples of my Bible. I'm finna get ready to go over the study guide, but I needed to share this with Paquetta real quick. So don't get your tears out the way. It's 1341. Oh yeah. So let's make this a motivation for everybody today. Because everybody is soon to go to their state board exams. And I know some of you guys may be a little just kind of nervous, but the time is here. The time is here. And if you look at 9, 13, 14. Oh yeah. 9, 13 through 14, 13 through 15. That's it. That's your motivation for today. And when you read it, text me. That's your motivation today. Amos 9, 13 to 15. Basically, it says, when I just stated with her, not much longer now. Not much longer now. All right. Everything that you've been praying for and you've been prepping for is about to come to pass. Not much longer now. So this is the time. It seems like an eerie time. You get nervous. You kind of second guess yourself. Do not second guess yourself. This is where you're supposed to be. We just have to be prepared for it. Okay. And how we be prepared today, we're going to go over that Cosmo State Board prep facials, makeup, and hair removal. This is what you get when you come to a school who's and your owner is a believer, your teacher is a believer of Jesus Christ. So this is what you get. I'm sorry, I can't take it back. But Amos 9, 13 to 14. It's best if you just Google it, said Message Bible. And you're going to be like, what? It says things going to happen so fast. Your head will swim. One thing on the heel of another. You ain't going to be able to keep up. Okay? Blessings. That's what it says. All right. So once you receive that, make sure you put that inspiration down, put it in your journal, whatever you got to do, wherever your study book is. Put that together. Let's move into this study guide. What I want you to do, because I want to identify how you study. Put in the chat now. Somebody share with me, how do you study? Do you write your words? Do you write your things out? Do you have to do notes on top of your notes? Do you just read? Do you highlight? Do you underline? Do you like to listen to it? Who goes back now and listen to the YouTubes? Is there anyone that listens to the YouTubes? All of it, yes. Okay. All right. Please make it a point to go back and listen to the YouTubes. Okay. You highlight and you read. Great, great, great. Okay. Pooja says she highlights. Great, great, great. Okay. So what we're gonna do today is gonna be like, I don't think I can highlight. Oh, I can't highlight. Okay. Let's highlight those questions that is taking you more than a few seconds to answer. Like the questions. Now, I'm not asking for you to give me the right answer. I'm going to make sure you have the right answer. But we need to work on some highlighting. We need to highlight words that we don't understand. That's why I need you to know it's a safe space. It's okay. We're learning. You're helping somebody. And what you say, somebody else is probably having the same thing. Words that you cannot define and words you don't understand. You know, sometimes I understand the word, but I can't pronounce it. So even if you have to go back and on your terms, write your pronunciation of the word out. I've had to do that as well. And sometimes, oh, hold on, y'all. I got an emergency real quick. Hold on. All right, y'all. You know how that is. See, and that's why I probably couldn't take I always got to be on call for Mom. But let's please remind me, Paquetta, of opportunity I need or announcement I got to give y'all before we get off. The announcement, marketing announcement. Um, so that's what we need to do. Right now, I don't want you to concentrate whether you know it or not. I need to find out. The key thing is finding out what you don't understand. And then I want to give you the page number so you can study. Okay, so you can go to the ebook, just put in the search page number, and you'll be able to see where the question comes from. And there are more than 100 questions. It is a study reference, y'all. It is a study reference. And I gave you almost all of the prep questions for facials, makeup, and hair removal. And here's the thing. This is the good part. On the tendency exam, in most PSI, all PSI exams, you never have a question on the exam that's not in both books, Pivot Point or Milady. So when you see Milady, you also see this other curriculum called Pivot Point. And so when you're taking your exam, rest assured, nothing's not, everything you see on here is going to be a reference on there. That's why I did not want to do 20 questions, 30 questions, 40 questions. I gave you everything. All right. And so out of these questions, you're going to see a few of them on the exam. All right. So I wanted to make sure you're fully prepared for those particular aspects. We can do hair all day long, but when it comes to facial makeup and hair removal, sometimes our interests, we're not as interested in those, and so we don't remember as much stuff. But let's start here. Hirsutism is an excessive growth to cover of hair, especially in. Now, here's this term here, flashcard. This is going to be in what chapter? What chapter would I find this? Is it going to be facial makeup or hair removal? Facial makeup or hair removal. When it talks about excessive growth or cover of hair, it's going to be in the hair removal chapter. Yeah, hair removal chapter. Look at Teresa. Oh, smart step, already ready to roll. Okay, excessive growth or cover of hair, especially in, she says B. Hold on. All right, it is B. It's found on page 738. All right. Men automatically, they're built for the hair growth excessively on the face. All right. Now you're not talking about a little bit of hair. You're talking about a lot of hair. You're talking about a lot of hair. So number one, when it says excessive, it really means excessive. It's not talking about a little hair here or a little hair underneath the chin or a little mustache like hair. It can really mean you really could grow the hair of a male, not any peach fuzz. I'm talking about real hair. You'll have a real mustache, a real gold teeth. Okay. So it's excessive growth or cover of hair. That tells you it's a lot of hair as well, especially in women. So number one is B. Okay. The two major categories of hair removal: temporary and permanent, semi and permanent, waxing and epilation, and depilatories. In order for you to understand this, you will need to know the difference between temporary and permanent and epilation and depilatories. Depilatories. One thing you need to know about multiple choice, you always choose the two that are wrong and get them out the way. The two that are wrong and get them out the way. And especially if you've never seen these terms or words, even if you can't pronounce it, you haven't seen the terms or words, you're gonna have to eliminate them. Okay, so that's why I said A and D. The two major categories of hair removal: you got temporary and permanent, epilation, depilatories. All right, let's start with temporary. What's temporary? That doesn't mean that grows back again. Does temporary grow back again? Yeah. And permanent is over. It's over. Okay. I want you to define epilation and depilatories. Um, depilatories is the product, is a product. Okay. And so a product, this right here, when you see this, that's a product. That reminds me of Nair. When you see this term here on D, it reminds this depilatories, it is a product. The question is two major categories of hair removal. It's either going to be temporary hair removal or permanent. These are the two major categories. So your answer is going to be A. Okay. Number 3, salon techniques are, and if you put A, good job. So I saw it in the chat. Salon techniques are considered blank methods of hair removal. Salon techniques. Okay. Let's look at permanent, semi-permanent, or temporary, or quick. Which one am I eliminating? Give me one that I'm eliminating. And really, it's two. Salon techniques. Salon techniques.
I would eliminate quick.
Yes. Another, yeah. We ain't nothing quick. It ain't said nothing about quick in your book, okay? So nothing about timely. It talks about, when it talks about time, it talks about speed waxing. Okay, so salon techniques are considered blank methods of hair removal. We're talking also about a method of hair removal, not a time that it takes the hair removed to be removed. So you have temporary, semi-permanent, and permanent. Think about this: salon techniques. You're not in a spa. You're not in a dermatologist's office. You're not in a med spa. Salon techniques, okay, which is going to be razoring, waxing, anything that you can remove, and then you know the hair is going to grow back. All right. So is it A, B, or C?
C.
Yes, good job, C. All right. C is temporary. And really, you just have to really break down the question. Number 4, learning the proper hair removal techniques and performing them. Blank makes you an even more important part of a client's beauty regimen. Okay. Learning the proper hair removal techniques and performing them. So, learning the hair removal techniques and performing them, blank makes you an even more important part of a client's beauty regimen. Okay. Safely, quickly, easily, painlessly. Okay. Learning the proper. Let's go with the STEM. Learning the proper hair removal techniques and performing them. Okay. Safely makes you an even more important part of the client's beauty regimen. All right. So number 4 is A. Did anybody have another answer? All right, Pooja, good job. Pooja said A. All right. Client questionnaires used for hair removal services should contain information about client medications and blank employment and allergies and skin disorders, age and finances, vitamins and diet routine. So it says client questionnaires used for hair removal services should contain information about client medications. Now, here's the thing, and blank. Client questionnaires, that reminds you of client consultations, okay? Client consultation card used for hair removal. So particularly ones for hair removal contain information about medications and what? Somebody in the chat. Who's in the chat? Okay, you said allergies and skin disorders. But it's number 5. You are correct. Allergies and skin disorders. It just takes a moment. I had this talk with my niece. She's 7 years old. A student. Poor card comes in, she gets a C in something. It's not that the work isn't done, it was the testing. And I told her, sometimes you may get nervous, but take your time and really read the question. Okay? Read the question. They'll throw a word like questionnaires in. You need to know that it is a consultation card. It has something to do with a consultation. All right. Used for what? Hair removal. We're not talking about salon services. We're not talking about hair removal services. And he gave you a little bit of information. Client medications. And if I'm waxing them, I don't want to know what job they do. Okay. I don't want to know what's in their bank. All right. Number 6, hair removal service should not be performed on clients taking a medication containing alcohol, niacin, retin A, or vitamin D. The chat just lit up. Let's see what we got. C. Okay. C is absolutely correct. C is absolutely correct. Retin A weakens the skin's barrier. All right. It weakens the skin barrier. Now, it is used to help control acne, get a hold of someone's acne. Okay. And it weakens the skin barrier. It softens that top layer and the other layers of skin. And so if you're going to do a hair removal service and over this particular area that has this medication, you could bruise the skin really well and pull the skin up. You could break the skin. So retin A and waxing are like, an X. It's like a no. We need further investigation. And you can only wax after it's been a period that you're not using it. So it doesn't mean stop today, wax tomorrow. No, there's a period, a resting period. Okay, remember, because our skin absorbs everything. So there's a lengthy pause before your person even goes into waxing. The question should be, okay, you're using it. When the last time you used it? So now I can start to calculate when you can get a wax service again. All right. So they may have to go with something more temporary and not semi-permanent. All right. Now, let's look at number 7. Facial waxing should not be performed on clients with which condition? Rosacea, seborrhea, hypertrichosis, Hirsutism. I need y'all to tell me what these are. Facial waxing should not be performed on clients with which condition? What's rosacea? In your own words, what have you heard about it? Yep. Yep. That's retinol, Teresa. Okay. If we was to do a summary of terms, not trying to
I
get,
know it's not D.
because we know D is excessive growth. Okay. It's not D. Because we do wax those areas. Do y'all know what hypertrichosis is?
Is that the sweating, over sweating?
Hypertrichosis is hair. It is hair. It is hair. It's mostly the type that most of our clients have. You know, little hairs here, little hairs there. It's okay. Just say I got a hair on my chin. Women don't usually have hair on their chin, right? So I have hypertrichosis due to PCOS. Women may have a few little peach fuzz on their top lip, hypertrichosis, but it's due to hormonal imbalance or something. Okay. Hypertrichosis is hair growth in areas that normally would not have hair growth. If you had knew someone, a female, a lady that had a few hairs on her chest, hypertrichosis. It's not hirsutism, where the whole thing is covered with hair. It's just a few. And so most of the time it comes from post pregnancy, endocrine issue, which is hormonal issues, and reproductive, all of that, cycles, all of that good stuff. And so PCOS mainly. And so that's hypertrichosis. So facial waxing should not be performed on clients with which condition. And so we have two conditions that are skin related conditions, and we have two conditions that are hair. A and B is skin. C and D is hair. And so facial waxing should not be performed on clients in which condition. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be between A and B. A, rosacea. When you hear the word rosacea, think of sensitive, think of super sensitive, even sensitive to touch. Think of redness. You can also think of pain. All right. Super sensitive, rosacea, super sensitive, redness, possible pain. Okay. B, seborrhea. Okay. When you think of that, you want to think of drying, crust, waxed. Okay. In the dandruff family, in the eczema family. You probably have heard seborrhea dermatitis, itchy. It can be found anywhere all over the body. Can be scaly. Also have redness, but it is in the dry skin, eczema, dandruff family. So you see dandruff, you know what eczema is. It's in that family. All right. And then rosacea is in, you should think of it as super, super sensitive redness. Okay. Think of someone who's sunburned. Probably contraindication is everything. No scent, no nothing on nothing. Can't even do a whole lot of touching. Even rubbing it may irritate the skin. So think about facial waxing should not be performed on clients with which condition. Facial waxing to make which one of these the worst, basically. What y'all think, A or B? If A, redness, sensitivity, possible pain, not a lot of touching, irritation. B, associated with dandruff, eczema. Can be red also, but it's, in the dry components. So facial waxing should not be performed on clients with which one of these conditions, A or B?
A.
A. You're absolutely right. What clicked and makes you say A?
Anytime I hear like something being red, I think it's inflamed. So
Yeah.
I don't think it won't be comfortable for the client.
Yeah. And remember what we said about waxing with retinol, put it over on top of the skin. It could pull the skin, break the skin. All right, super sensitive. So yes, 7 is A, and I want y'all to be able to determine that. What page is it on? 743. So it was hard for you to answer. Please take a look on 743 in your ebooks. Now did anyone know? I knew you knew what D was. Did anyone know what C was? Hypertrichosis. Hypertrichosis. Remember, hyper is a lot, trich is hair. So it's a lot of hair. It's a lot of hair. They call it abnormal hair, okay, in places where normally hair does not grow. So think about primarily ladies, okay? Thinking about ladies, primarily. Women, their oil glands, their DNA not made up to wear beards, mustaches, have hair on their chin, things of that nature, hair on their breast area. No. So when you see those things, you say, okay, we got a form of hypertrichosis. Okay. Now, also, when you see those things, you see you got a form of hypertrichosis. That also should be a red flag, since it's on women, to now ask questions that are relatable from hormones, endocrine system, reproductive system. I will ask, have you had a baby recently? I will also ask, have your cycles, do you have normal cycles? I will also ask, do you have PCOS? I will also ask about menopause, perimenopause, post, all that good stuff. Okay. I will ask about that. I will ask about mood swings. I will ask about original gender identification. Okay. And so, original gender identification, because you have some individuals who are taking hormones who are moving from one sex to the next. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Transgender. And so, a lot of times you can see these things pop up, and you be like, didn't look like a man, but they're really a man, but they are transitioning into a woman. All right. So hormones are in that place. Even your textbooks talk about in aesthetics, preparing us to have those conversations about hormone levels and things of that nature because of what it does to the skin on the other side. Now, if it does something to the skin, it does something to the hair and to the nails. So cosmetologists also need to kind of do a little read up, because you're going to see individuals who and it's not our business, but we're going to see individuals who do not identify as what they were born with. And so when they get to certain ages or having certain things, you could have some issues. And one issue that I've seen is you have female transgender to male and transgender back to female. And as a cosmetologist, esthetician, beauty professional, you'll say, what do we do? What are some of the things that you're seeing, Ms. Cox? I'm seeing, initially I had to take hormones that would cause them to be more masculine. So now hair is growing. Feminine edges, feminine softness is now, the features now become a little structured. So harder features like a male. Okay. And hair starts to grow like beard hair. Okay. Chin hair, mustache, beard hair. And so when they go back to, female and stop taking the hormones, it slowly goes back to that softer state, which means hair is not growing. The facial features get softer, but I find a lot of pigmentation issues, and I just seen two people. I'm judging this off two people. We've been dealing with pigmentation issues on the face. All right, from where patches of hair was growing, and now there's a discoloration in those particular areas. And so I'm mostly giving some advice about treating that particular area. And honestly, waxing has been our go-to. Hard waxing has been our go-to. And not only did it pull the hair out, but it also got rid of like a roughness in that particular area. So that's a major thing. So if anyone is looking like, okay, is that an area where we could possibly put something on the menu or have a customized consultation? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So 7 was A. Number 8, what are 3 methods of permanent hair removal? And permanent, we are talking out of here. Okay, out of here. So we have electrolysis, laser hair removal and waxing, electrolysis, waxing and shaving, photoepilation, electrolysis and laser hair removal, and then waxing, shaving, threading. Y'all, the question said, what are the 3 methods of permanent hair removal? We have already classified what was temporary. Let me go to the chat. Chat blowing up, chat blowing up. Okay. Are we saying C? Photoepilation, electrolysis, laser hair removal. How did you get to C?
Because everything else was temporary.
Ah, there you go. Everything else was temporary. Here's the thing. You had a form of temporary in all the others. Okay. Do we know what electrolysis is?
I do not.
Okay. A good friend of mine, Elena Barnes, if you know her, she's the sugar queen of Memphis. That's not her brand, but she's the sugar queen. She removes hair with sugaring. And I feel like she's the sugar queen because she's taught so many people, and it's effortless with her. That's like it's a passion. But instead of wax, y'all, she uses sugar. And she has recently adopted epilation. She's completed her training. She's now in certified electrolysis. Most certified electrolysis for Tennessee, they are not under the Tennessee State Board of Cosmetology like a cosmetologist, but you refer to the health department. It's just it's same, not same, but it's in a similar boat of micro blading. Okay. Microblading, tattoo artists, because an electrolysis will see your hair and you would say, I don't want that anymore. And they'll say, well, here's a form of hair removal. And they stick this needle, and it's electrolysis. So it's electro. They stick this needle, all right, inside of the follicle. And what happens, it zaps, it kills everything. They call it retards. it retards, like freezes everything inside of the follicle. It was not everything, the hair in the follicle. So the hair, soon as it hits, okay, and so that hair and where the hair comes from is zapped. So that means the papilla, the hair root, all of that is zapped. So the hair cannot grow. There's no more hair that will grow because no nutrients can come into this particular area because the hair has been zapped. All right. And it is a permanent form of hair removal, electrolysis. So a lot of time people would choose an electrolysis over a laser technician. It's in the same family, but electrolysis will go one hair at a time. All right. A laser hair removal is pretty much, like a laser machine, photoepilation, same thing like a machine. Like it takes a picture, and then the picture it takes, it pretty much will burn or scope off the hair. Okay. People of color, everybody on here, people of color, we have to make sure, even if our skin is lighter or darker, that when we're using laser and photoepilation, that we have the right type of laser and photoepilation. Okay. There's IPLs. A lot of them do not work well with darker skin tones. And so you pretty much have to go more of the expensive route if someone has darker melanin that you're trying to remove the hair. Now, not only does it remove hair, it's also going to break up pigment. So we do come back and use the lasers and photoepilation, the same lasers to break up dark spots. All right. And what happens on melanated skin, the frame, if it was a little circle tube, you'll see the light, poof, okay? It gets rid of all the hair in that area, and then it starts to break up the pigment. But what happens, that light takes a picture, and it becomes it'll break up the pigment in a light ring. So now you're left with these little spots. And so we have to be very, very careful that we're using the right tool for the right skin type. All right. So the darker the Fitzpatrick, you need to be more and more careful about using lasers. You can use them, but I would not go cheap route. Okay. You can use them, but you need to make sure you're using the best of the best. And lasering is one of those things that if you guys got certified as a laser technician, you can really walk in the door and be right there you can really have a job at a med spa if you don't want to do hair anymore. Because let me tell you, in Tennessee, it's not a lot of certified laser technicians in Tennessee. My friend Miss Candace, she does certification for the National Laser Institute. Okay. And then she's a director of a Texas Laser Institute from Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, all those great places. And so she just said in Tennessee, it's time to bring some classes back, but literally they don't have a lot of them in Tennessee. So if you're an esthetician with a laser background, you'll have a job like boom, you'll be right up there. You're not a nurse, but pretty much you can do what that nurse does. They will pull a nurse in so the nurse has the laser background. Or they would do this advanced training, spend thousands of dollars, such and such, but most med spas will hire you just for that background because laser hair removal, photoepilation, they bring in premium clients, premium money. And we went on a trip one time. A lady came in with a mink coat, person of color. She was only in and out 15 minutes, but they said that was a $300 service. She got her lip laser. Okay. And so how many of us could use $300 or a percentage of that in 15 minutes. And so, and she may not, you're not going to see her all the time, but people will. I don't even think she had clothes on, pajamas and a mink coat. And she came in and got her lip done. So, that's something you have to think about adding on as well. So number 8 is going to be C, and it's going to be correct because Paquetta said that all the others included temporary. So you're absolutely right. Number 9, hair removal by means of an electric current that destroys the growth cells of the hair. Okay. Hair removal by means of an electric current that destroys the growth cells of the hair. All right. I just told you it's a zap. A zap is a current. So if I told you what electrolysis was, what do you all think this answer is? Number 9, hair removed by means of an electric current that destroys the growth cells of the hair. That's the hair, the root, the follicle. Okay? The matrix, all that good stuff is destroyed. Are we talking A, electricity, B, photoepilation, C, electrolysis, or D, depilation?
Electrolysis.
You are absolutely correct, Alex, for 300. Number 10, we're on electrolysis again. Must be performed by a and blank and is not commonly a service offered in salons. We just talked about it. Electrolysis must be performed by a physician, dermatologist, cosmetologist, or an electrolysis. I knew somebody was going to say D. Okay. Electrolysis. All right. Remember I said separate. It's not even under the board. Okay. Department of Health is right there in the same category because the Department of Health also monitors tattoo shops, tattoo licenses, permits, and also microblading permits as well. Number 11, blank, also known as IPL. I mentioned it just slightly. Intense pulse light uses intense light to destroy the growth cells of hair follicles. All right. This is a good one. Intense pulse light. Photo. Intense pulse light. It's like putting your flash on your camera. Intense pulse light. Let's see what we got. Okay. Y'all, let me tell you, never heard of light stripping. It is C. You see how one thing just helps you understand everything else? Number 11, photoepilation. You guys need to understand this. It's like taking a picture. It's similar, it's in the laser family. But it's like taking a picture. Can anybody tell me what happens with the darker the melanin, the darker the skin, and using photoepilation? What's going to happen? And IPL, let me tell you, IPL is just the beginner of the lights. That's why I said darker the skin, go up to more sophisticated lights. In your own words, what could happen?
Does the skin change color?
It doesn't change color. The color separates because of the flash. when you hit the photo, when you hit the light, it's intense pulse light. So it's a lot of light that hit the skin at one time. It's not trying to hit the skin, but it's going to hit the hair. You can't hit the hair without hitting the skin. So it's going to get rid of the hair, but it is going to dock that skin. When it docks that skin, your melanin will start to separate. And so even if you had even melanin, you'll have these spots where the melanin just separates. Okay. You know how when you do a drop or something, like a drop of oil or something, as soon as you drop it, something, it just separates. This is just what happens. Let's take, for example, give me everybody knows Seal. Everybody know the singer Seal? Can you get the vision of Seal?
Yes.
All right, get the vision of Seal. Okay, he is a Fitzpatrick 5. You can go up to 6. So he's about 5'6". He's about a 5. He's not a 6. He's about a 5. So that means he has really dark skin. Okay, melanated skin, really dark skin. Well, if he said, I wanted this hair removed with a laser and I wanted you to use IPL, I would say I would think twice about IPL because how dark your skin was. Because I know it's like a flashlight. And when you hit that camera you see that light that pops, that's the same light, but it's more of a dangerous, faster light that hits the skin. It'll remove the hair, but as it zoomed in on the skin, it causes the melanin to break up. So where there was even melanin, you now have little spots of melanin. Okay. And some people will say, I want my skin to be more even. Well, nothing on top can help us do that. You're going to have to go back down to the source. So you got to use another type of light to drive your product down to bring it back together, or another type of light to go down there and bring that pigment back together. And most of the time, you have individuals that do not understand. They just want to be using it, but they're using the wrong thing. If I was looking at, give me a Caucasian celebrity. Give me a Caucasian celebrity.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. If he said, I want to get rid of this peach fuzz on my legs, I want to get rid of this. I don't want to shave it. I know he's wearing a mustache. He says, I don't want a mustache. I don't want to get rid of all the hair. I want to see it again. He'll probably do photoepilation, intense pulse light. His skin is light. There's no melanin to separate. But as you get darker, the melanin will start to separate. Even if you were Pooja's skin tone, the melanin you could see dark spots in her skin. Even if you were Teresa's skin tone, they have melanin. So it doesn't matter, but the darker the skin, you'll see more of it. All right. So when people are saying they want lasering, you really go to the source why you want lasering. And here's why people go to lasering and IPL, because they don't like the wax, they don't like the sugar, they don't like the razoring. Once you go, you can't do the razor, you can't do threading, you can't do sugaring, you can't do waxing. What's left is lasering. Okay. And so now you got to be careful with what type of laser. So you can't go in and buy a $20 laser. I don't say what type of lasering. You can't go in and buy a $20,000 laser and it just gives you one light. It just gives you one option. That's not a good purchase, especially if you know the world is full of melanated people. Okay, so whether they are melanated or not, everybody got the same melanin cells. So whether you're doing someone European or someone African, someone Spanish, it doesn't matter. If you're going to invest in a light or laser, please invest in one. If you have a huge budget, buy two. One for this type of people, this type of skin, one for the other type of skin, or buy one that changes. All right. If you can invest one that changes, that has many different variations of light. And so that's something, to pick up as well if you hadn't known that before. And then light stripping is just something put in there to throw someone off. Chemical lensing, no. Okay. There are only two familiar terms you guys knew: electrolysis and photoepilation, and number 11 was photoepilation. Number 12, what hair type responds best to laser hair treatment? Okay, what's hair type? So now we had skin issues. Now let's look at type. Okay. Let's look here. What hair type responds best to laser hair treatment?
Is it D?
It is D, yes. Most of the time when you have hair that is coarse or resistant, and it grows back fast, you're like, hey, I need to move to something else. And so you go to that type of hair also would be coarse hair. All right. Soft, fine would be the same type of hair. Okay. Thick, coarse is the same thing, but with hair types, you're looking at textures, all right? Not density. Density is thick. Density is fine, okay? When you're looking at hair type, you have soft, medium, coarse. Got it. Soft, medium, coarse. And some people will say fine, medium, coarse, but it's definitely not A and B. It is going to be D, as in coarse. 13, which method of hair removal, still talking about hair removal, uses a beamed pulse on the skin that requires specialized training? We just talked about this. Dermabrasion, epilation, laser hair removal, needle hair removal. When someone says needle hair removal, we just talked about it. A couple of questions up. Needle hair removal is what?
Electrolysis?
Yes, yes. Number one, Paquetta and Pooja, y'all are correct. With C, you are correct. The key term in that was which method of hair removal uses a beam pulse. Beam pulse on the skin. And you need more training. That's laser hair removal. All right. But you need to also know what these other terms mean. Dermabrasion is in the microdermabrasion family. All right. It's just basically what it is, microdermabrasion. All right. Getting rid of dead skin cells. Okay. Going deeper. Needle hair removal, that's electrolysis. Okay. That's electrolysis. And of course, you have epilation. Okay. Epilation, depilatory epilation is just the removal of hair. So 13 is C, correct. 14, what is the most common form of temporary hair removal? What is the most common form of temporary hair removal? Most often thought to cause hair to grow thicker or stronger. Now, it's talking about what you heard, a myth. Two-part question. This is a good one. What is the most common form of temporary hair removal? That's the question, okay? This is the extra. Most often thought to cause hair to grow thicker or stronger. What is the most common form of temporary hair removal? Common form, and it gives you a clue. Often thought to cause hair to grow thicker or stronger. Waxing, shaving, Tweezing or threading?
Shaving.
Shaving, absolutely correct. Okay, absolutely correct. And let me put it here. Okay, 15. And let me tell you why it's shaving. Because when you shave, you don't remove the whole hair and it's cut on like an edge, okay, a bevel. And so as it grows out, the hair seems coarser because it's cut on that bevel and sharper. All right. And also from an esthetician point of view, when you shave or wax prematurely, okay, you send a signal to the hair that says, oh, they're ready. I guess we can get rid of this premature hair and go and move in terminal hair. Terminal hair, your hair goes through, it's like vellus, lanugo, lanugo, vellus, terminal hair. Terminal hair is what you grow with the rest of your life. When you're born, you have that softer, finer hair. Okay, that's where our vellus and lanugo come from. But when you prematurely start waxing and removing those type of hairs too early, it's naturally going to fall out and then your terminal hair grows in. When you do it too early, okay, the terminal hair comes in with color and thicker. So many people think that shaving removes hair. It's commonly used to, not shaving, but shaving is the most common form of temporary hair removal. It is. And the myth is if you shave, it's going to grow your hair back thicker, okay, and stronger. No, you shaved prematurely in some areas and you didn't allow the natural process of the hair to grow back. So you just sent a signal that says, oh, no more baby hair, no more youth hair, bring them into the full grown effect. Now this terminal hair has color, you can see it, and it is stronger because it's fresh. Okay. It's terminal. It's supposed to last long. It ain't supposed to break off easily. It's terminal. So boom. This is why all because they're 13 or 16 doesn't mean they can go get their first wax and things of that nature, because they probably still are going through puberty and they probably still have this baby persona when it comes to hair, skin, and nails. It's not maturely developed yet. All right. And so you start putting deodorant on young ladies too soon. Now their pH is at a place where they gotta have it. Normally, when they were in little kids, they didn't have to have it. But when you start messing with pHs and start messing with stuff that has a natural process, just genetically, it becomes an issue. We speed stuff up. We make stuff the way it is. All right. 15. Blank removes hairs. Is commonly used to shape the eyebrows and can also be used to remove undesirable hairs from around the mouth and chin. Blank removes hairs and commonly used to shape the eyebrows and can also be used to remove undesirable hairs from around the mouth and chin. Removes hairs, commonly used to shape. Chat blowing up, what we got? Used to shape. Commonly, what do we use the most? Okay. Commonly, blank removes hairs is the stem commonly used to shape the eyebrows and can also be used to remove undesirable hairs from around the mouth and chin. Um, 15, I see you put threading. 15 is C. found on page 745 is tweezing. Although most individuals can say threading and tweezing does the same thing, but tweezing is more commonly used than threading. So go to page 745 and make sure we read that, but it's tweezing. Tweezing removes hairs and commonly used to shape the eyebrows. Although we know modern day we do that with threading, but the key was commonly used. All right. 16. What hair removal method is often completed as part of a professional makeup service? What hair removal method is often completed as part of a professional makeup service? C. Find on the same page as 15. C, tweezing. 17. The high point of the arch of the brow should be near the outside corner of the blank if the client is looking straight ahead. Now you got to close your eyes and look. The high point of the arch of the brow should be near the outside corner of the blank if the client is looking straight ahead. Okay? The outside corner we had our pen and we drawn our arch, okay, and we drawn this high point. The high point of the arch of the brow should be near the outside corner of the blank if the client is looking straight ahead. Outside corner of the eye. No, our arch is not going to be at the end of the eye. Outside corner of the nose. No, that's where our brow starts. Outside corner of the mouth. Nope, that's kind of like where the nose, or outside corner of the iris. Okay, iris pupil area. Yep, it's D. It's D. 17 is D. And let's read the question again. The high point of the arch is talking about the arch, okay, in the eyebrow, should be near the outside corner. So really, if you look at the pupil, the iris of the eye, you want it right there on the corner of it. All right. So it's not the eye itself, because the eye itself would be at the end of the eyebrow. The nose is where the brow starts, and also the mouth, corner of the mouth is where the brow starts as well in that particular area. So you want to be iris. That is going to be your high point. Have them look straight ahead, and boom, you'll put a point right there and says that's their arch. What is the substance used for the temporary removal of superfluous hair by dissolving it at the skin's surface? What is the substance used for temporary removal, which means it comes back, of superfluous hair? Superfluous hair is just like hypertrichosis. Superfluous hair, people got a lot of hair on their arm, a lot of hair on their leg. By dissolving it at the skin surface. Okay, this is a whole conversation. I told you earlier that a depilatory was a product. Anybody give me an example of a product that dissolves hair at the skin surface?
Nair.
There you go. Nair. Okay. 18 is A. It's a product. Okay. Temporary removal of superfluous hair by dissolving it at the skin surface. Y'all, 18 is A, but it is in the relaxer family. Okay. It's in the relaxer family. Basically, you letting that hair over process. That hair has to break and bend. You're letting that hair over process. And once that hair breaks, the hair removes. Can I tell you, whatever you put on the skin absorbs into the skin. Be very mindful of these chemicals sitting over in your skin. You could possibly have contraindications, skin irritations, redness, itching, all of that from leaving residues of this behind in your skin. Okay? Follow your manufacturer's directions as well. 18, depilatories, aka Nair, can be inflammatory to skin, cause it for redness, okay, itchiness, and should not be used on blank skin types or on clients with contraindications for waxing. I just said that, okay? But what skin types? 19. Okay? Sensitive. Depilatories can be inflammatory to skin and should not be used on sensitive skin types or on clients with contraindications for waxing. You can't use wax, you can't use this. So 19 is A for sensitive skin. 20, a depilatory patch test should be performed on the client's blank prior to treatment for the first time. Hair, skin, face, leg. Number 20, what y'all think? The Nair patch test should be performed on the client's blank prior to treatment for the first time.
Skin?
You got it. You got it. And that's why I'm telling you, the skin is going to absorb everything. This could be a caustic chemical into the skin. It's just like you leaving relaxer on the skin. All right. The Nair patch test should be performed on the skin. Why is it performed on the skin? If you're having adverse reactions to this product touching the skin, you cannot use this. If it's itchy, if it's burning, if it's painful, start swelling, any of that, those are negative reactions. We can't use the product on the skin. Tell me why some people get the product and put it right on the skin. No testing. All right. If you can do anything, you got to educate your clients, educate them about testing. Everybody cannot use everything. Okay. 21, what process removes hair from the bottom of the follicle? Oh, yeah. We taking it out now. The bottom of the follicle. Depilation. Epilation. Tweezing. Threading. I know which one. What is it again, Pooja?
Appellation.
You are absolutely correct. Good job.
Thank you.
It is gonna from the bottom of the follicle. I was hoping nobody said depilation because we just talked about Nair and at the top of the surface. So it does not pull hair from the bottom of the follicle. So 21 is B, epilation. All right. 22. What are two forms of wax? The most commonly used epilator. Two form of wax. We got hard and soft, cold and hot, cold and hard, or soft and warm. What do y'all think?
D, soft and warm.
Two types of wax.
Mm-hmm.
Two types of wax.
A, hard and soft?
It is A, hard and soft. Remember hard wax, soft wax. Hard wax, soft wax. Let's make sure.
Okay.
Yeah. soft wax and warm wax is the same thing because warm wax could be, all of it could be warm. Okay. So it is hard and soft. That's our two types of wax. Hard wax, no strip. Soft wax, you're going to use a strip. Okay. So let's do A here. 23. What thick epilator does not require to use a fabric strips for hair for removal? I just said it. Hard wax, natural wax, hot wax, or aloe wax. Process of elimination. Aloe wax is out of here. It didn't ask you what kind of wax. It didn't ask you about a health benefit. So aloe wax is out of here. It's only going to be between hard and soft. Okay. Hot wax, both could be hot. Okay. Natural wax, they both could have natural ingredients. So what thick epilator does not require to use a fabric strips? Hard wax. Remember, I just stated, soft wax, you use a strip. Hard wax, you don't need a strip. 24. What type of epilator? Okay, now here we go, y'all. Here we go. Depilator. Depilation uses a product to remove hair. Got it? And it's temporary. I want you to think of depilation, depilator, temporary. Epilator, okay, it's temporary also, but it's gonna remove all the way up to follicle and hair, the hair bulb, all of that is going to be pulled up. And when we're talking about epilator, we're talking about hard or soft wax. I just want that to be clear, okay? What type of epilator may cause an allergic reaction and should be patch test on the client before use. When we also talk about epilator, anything that's gonna pull that follicle, pull that hair all the way out. Anything that's gonna pull that hair all the way out. Again, 24, we're not talking about a benefit. Aloe wax is there to throw you off. Okay? Aloe wax is there to throw you off. 24. What type of epilator may cause an allergic reaction and should be patch test on the client before use? Your book is saying 24 is B, soft wax, page 746. Please take note. 746. Okay, 746. Okay. 25. Which hair removal procedure is most appropriate for underarms? Wax, aka epilation. Depilatory, aka nair. Tweezers. Remember tweezers. They shape the brow and remove little hairs around the chin. And just removes individual hairs. We're not taking a tweezer to the underarm. Threading. Woo. We're not taking a thread either to the underarm, okay? If somebody wants to, but it's not common. Remember, it's not what we would do. It is what the book presumes would happen, okay? So which hair removal procedure is most appropriate for underarms? Let's go to the chat. You guys are correct. Everybody that said A, good job, good job, good job. You are correct. Teresa Paquetta, you are correct. A. Okay. 26. What waxing technique requires the removal of all of the hair from the front and back of the bikini area? All. Highlight all. What waxing technique requires the removal of all the hair from the front and the back of the bikini? One, let's get rid of tweezing, because remember, tweezing is just a little bit here and there. Sugaring, get rid of it. It didn't say what technique of epilation. It said what waxing technique. Sugaring is not waxing. Bikini waxing is only the front, and it's only the outline of the panty. Brazilian bikini waxing is everything front and back. All right. Let's see if the chat agrees with me. Yes, good job, Teresa. You did it. You had it right. It is Brazilian bikini waxing. Okay. Brazilian bikini waxing. 27. To avoid contaminating wax. Before you go any further, you got to understand, how do you contaminate wax? Dirty sticks. Repeat using. After you pull out, you're going back again. Okay. Dirty hands, dirty stations. To avoid contaminating wax, the applicator used on each client should be inserted into the wax often, daily, smoothly, or once. Good job, Paquetta. Once. We ain't gonna be doing that, spreading no stuff. One time, one and done. 28. Which method can be used post-wax to calm and soothe the client's skin if redness and swelling results from the treatment? Which method can be used post-wax to calm and soothe a client's skin if redness and swelling results from the treatment? Okay. A, aloe gel and cool compresses. B, aloe gel and warm compresses. C, soothing toner. Or D, lavender oil. We're going to need the correct one and the page. Okay. What method can be used post-wax? Think about when we wax, or if anybody was in the building. You got to also know what these things does. Lavender oil, it is relaxing. Soothing toner, that's our rose toner. Aloe gel calms the skin. Anything going on calms the skin, quiets the skin down. Cool compresses, if something was hot, cool gonna bring some relief. If something was hot and you add warm back onto it, it's still gonna be warm. Still gonna be like, whoo, irritating. Okay. Which method can be used post-wax? Wax over, but I need to calm and soothe my client's skin. I see redness. I see swelling. What is it, y'all? A, B, C, or D? Number 28. Going over to the chat. Okay. Number 27. I got you, ladies. Good job. It is once. It is 27 was D. 28 is A. 28 is A. Found on page 747. Aloe gel and cool compresses. Okay, 29. Which temporary hair removal method involves cotton thread manipulated and rolled along the surface of the skin? I know y'all know this. 29. Cotton thread. Good job, good job, good job. Cotton thread, cotton thread, cotton thread. 29 is C. No. Cotton thread, yes. 29 is C. We're not tweezing. That's a tool. Involves cotton thread. Stitching is for hair weaving. Threading is in hair removal. So C for 29. 30. Which temporary hair removal method involves the use of a thick sugar-based paste and is especially appropriate for more sensitive skin types? Which temporary hair removal method involves the use of a thick sugar-based paste? Here we go. Keyword sugar-based paste, and is especially appropriate for more sensitive skin types. So individuals who cannot take waxing, hard or soft, normally will move to sugaring. Okay? Soaping, pasting, we ain't never heard of it before. Okay? Tweezing, the little bitty areas. So 30 is sugaring. 31. To prevent contact with any possible blood-borne pathogens during a hair removal treatment, use blank. To prevent contact with any possible blood-borne pathogens during a hair removal treatment, use blank. Okay? To prevent contact with any possible blood-borne pathogens during a hair removal treatment, use paper coverings, disposable gloves, wooden applicators, or non-disposable gloves. Contact. We got to make contact with this person. Every time we wax, disposable gloves. There we go. Disposable gloves. We ain't reusing no gloves. 32. When performing hair removal services, we're hair removal. Always use blank implements in order to prevent transmission of blood-borne pathogens and other contamination. When performing hair removal services, always use disposable, washable, metal, or wood implements. What y'all think?
Disposal?
Yes. You're going to stay ward, y'all. You cannot take you got to take wooden sticks. You can't take your favorite stick that you used on every client. No sense, nonsense. You got to have disposable gloves. Even when you're on the makeup component, you have to use spatulas and disposables for makeup. You cannot use a set of makeup brushes. All right. 33. To prevent contamination, blank. Add new product to particularly used jars or containers. Okay. To prevent contamination, blank. Add new product to partially, not particularly, partially used jars or containers. 33. Is it always, carefully, slowly, or never? Okay. 33 is going to be D. All right. You trying to avoid something being dirty. That's what contamination means, dirty. To prevent dirtiness. Blank, add new product to partially used jars or containers. You're not adding nothing new. It's just like the Bible says, new wine and old skins. You are not adding nothing new to old, unclean, partially used containers. New stuff, go in new, fresh containers. All right. So 33 is going to be never. We're gonna do to maybe, we're gonna do to about 40. We may can go a little bit far. We're gonna do about 40. And we're gonna pick back up tomorrow. 34. To soften brow, saturate the pledgets. Those are your little cotton. Or towel with what? Cold water, alcohol, astringent, or warm water. You want to soften brows. Okay. Soften brows. Warm water. Heat, warmth is going to soften and open pores. All right. 34 is D. 35. When tweezing, the skin should be held taut, which means pull it, make it tight. And the hair pulled using a quick motion. Is it in an up and down direction, in a sideways direction, in the direction of hair growth, or against the direction of hair growth? Woo, this is good. 35, when tweezing, you're going to hold the skin taut. That means tight. You pulled it up. And the hair pulled using a quick motion. Blank. 35, what y'all think?
Is it C?
It is absolutely C. You're going to, in tweezing, you're going to remove in the direction of hair growth. Okay? If you go in the opposite direction, against the direction of hair growth, the hair will break and the hair can be pushed back under the skin, which could cause ingrown hair. So 35 is C. 36. When wax is ready to use, it should have the consistency of blank and never be too runny or to avoid burning the client. Caramel sauce, cream, lotion, or oil. Okay. And actually, this is what I haven't heard of. I would think it would be honey, but it is caramel sauce. Okay. And you can find that on page 755. Okay. Heated wax should be spread in a thin coat using heated wax. Should be spread in a thin coat using, what do you apply the wax with? Your fingers, a wooden applicator, a metal applicator, or cotton pads. Wooden applicator. 38. Soft wax. Oh, here's the thing, guys. Heated wax. We're not using our fingers. We're not using a metal applicator because we're never using it again. Okay? Metal. If we use a metal applicator, that means we're going to use it again. We're going to double dip. We're not doing that. And you would not put a cotton pad in wax. So commonly, you're going to use a wooden spatula, a wood applicator. Okay? 37 is B. 38. Soft wax applied to an area should be using fingers, paper strips, fabric strips, or wooden applicators. So number 38, fabric strips. You use the palin, okay? Or you're going to use the muslin. So it is going to be fabric strips. 38 is going to be C. 39. After soft wax application in the direction of hair growth, run your fingers over the surface of the fabric 3 to 5 times, always blank. Always in the opposite direction of the hair growth, perpendicular to the direction of the hair growth, in the direction of the hair growth, or across the fabric. Now, this question could be a little confusing because it is missing something, guys. It is missing something. And I need to find out what page this is on. So hold on, I'm going all the way down to the end. We are on number 39. I need you to look this up because this question is missing something. Um, 756, 756, 756, 756. You need to highlight that page 756. Okay. And actually, the answers, since we're here, 39, 40, 41. So 38 through 41 is going to be C, and you can find the answer on 756. Let's go back up to these. 38 through 41 is C. And all the answers are on 756. So it says, what's C? After soft wax application in direction of the hair growth, run your fingers over the surface of the fabric 3 to 5 times, always in the direction of the hair growth. All right. So simply, you're going to run your fingers. You're going to tap, do whatever you need to do in the direction of the hair growth, not opposite direction. C. In what direction will fabric strips be removed? C, opposite direction. If you apply the wax in the direction of the hair growth, you will remove in the opposite direction. 756, 755, 756. And then remaining wax residue can be safely removed from the skin with a gentle wax remover. Again, in those same pages, 755, 756. And let's look at, I'm trying to get as much done as possible. All right, so we're going to stop at 41. I'm going to probably do 42 through 60 as a recording. And tomorrow we need to pick up 61. All right. So I'm going to do 42 through 50. I'm right. And through 60. It's going to live stream later on. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to pick up at 61 and try to head over to 100. All right. And that way, Wednesday, we can close this out and move on to the next day board prep. Oh, I might have to go a little further today. You know what? I may have to go to like 42 to 75 today. And then tomorrow we'll pick up 75 to maybe 120, something like that. But I'm going to do a recording today, 42 to 75. And it will be in the group. And I'll probably also send it in our little text message. So you can study 42 through 75. Make sure you read 1 through 41. And I'm going to just do a catch up because it's so many. It's over 100 questions. And so we got a couple days to get it done. Then we'll move on to our next day board prep. All right. And so we're going to close out today. Your assignment, continue reading, continue studying this particular state board study guide. I'm going to Chat blowing up, chat's blowing up. Okay, yes. My announcement. I'm glad that you said that.